So, stage 3, yeah, this is going to be 2 stages per video, I think, and then 1 bonus video because I fucking sucked at one of them and I really want to do it right. That's a bad time to get a border, by the way. Oh god, I haven't even explained that yet, have I? In this game, the pink items are, cherry points, which are used to fill up the gauge, which you see in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. It's basically how much each of the point items are worth. But in addition to that, there's the gauge that's pink that's just above that. This is plus 16,000 at the moment. It goes all the way up to 50,000, and when it does, you get a barrier, which will protect you from one attack if you get hit. If you don't get hit, and when it runs out, you get a bonus for it. Bonus points. So that's pretty good. Anyway, more of the arrows. Alice is an arrow freak as well, apparently. There's so many of them in this game. It's pretty funny. And yeah, you can see I've now, this is a brand new thing. This is... I think what happened is I did start a new save file type thing. I'd made a new score file, so it's as if I've restarted completely. And I think what happened at this point is that I actually played the first 2 stages and then just quit. And that's why I've got capture records of like X out of 2 for the first couple of stages, but nothing for the, the stages after that. Anyway, I kind of get caught a little bit there. It wasn't too bad because it's still perfectly handleable, but I didn't manage to kill the big dolls in time, so that was a pain in the ass. But whatever. Back with Alice again, and I can do this bit, but it just wasn't my run this time, Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and this is one of those times where it just didn't work. But, Death Bomb is perfectly fine. I've gotten relatively good at that most of the time on this game, so yeah. I like this spell card. I don't like it on Lunatic, but of course this is not Lunatic, so it's fine. The multiplying arrow trick is pretty fun, and it's generally okay. You've got to play in advance, but it's still fine. And this is the most pointless non-spell ever. It doesn't do anything. I despise this card, however. It's so simple on normal, but as soon as you step it up, oh my god, it becomes horrendous. The reason is because of those dolls on the side. Those dolls on the side don't exist on normal and easy, but when it comes to this, it just becomes ridiculously hard, and I got slightly annoyed at that because I was doing so well at it and then, just got clipped, whatever. Here's another thing I've not explained yet. You've been hearing a couple of times the extra life sound has come up, and that's because I'm getting, obviously, point items as I go along, and unlike Embodiment of the Scarlet Devil, the point items in this game actually determine the life count that you get. There's a counter on that right hand side telling you how many points you've got, and out of, so many, and if you get to that number you get an extra life, and, the next target comes up. Anyway, this card, I actually like this one. It's more of the arrows again. Of course, as I said, she's an arrow freak, so whatever. But it's all, these circular type patterns. It seems to be generating massive waves of them, and I actually like it. I was probably going to die there if I didn't dispel the card, but whatever. And then this one is surprisingly easy for a last card of the level. I find the first couple of cards are a lot harder than this one. But oh well, there's not much I can do about that. It's just quite simple, reading ahead, and because Marisa's firepower is so huge, it clears it really quickly, so yeah, good fun. And then stage 4. You've seen this one in a couple of iterations now. My thing's going to sleep, go away. But, mouse, get out of the way. I didn't take into account the fact that my laptop might try and go to sleep at this point. Whatever, hopefully that's not impacting this too much. Yeah, you've seen a couple of iterations of this, mostly on easy mode, because honestly, I was tempted to try and do a this is why I don't play Lunatic mode of this stage, but it turns out that I just can't do it to a good enough standard, so, I'm not happy enough to do it. But you know, you can see the hard mode version now, which is basically the same sort of thing as Lunatic, it's just not quite so fast. But I don't know if it's not so fast, that's probably the wrong thing for it. There's not quite so many bullets at you most of the time. Oops, sorry. Okay, right, so I kind of screw up there a little bit, but it actually works out because of the trailing effect of Marisa's magic napalm. You know, it worked out really well. And this is an absolutely amazing place to get items. You know, if you can get up the screen a lot for this one, it's absolutely great. I missed some of them, but I still got most of the items, so I was happy with that. The main thing you've got to look at on this stage is that pretty much everything is aimed at you. You know, you can see it here. All of the attacks are aimed, and it's annoying on the harder difficulties because the streams widen. You know, you can see it there, the blue-red things that they are pretty freaking wide. Strategy for this bit is to try and make sure that all of the bullets are actually aiming before you move, and you need to leave yourself enough of a gap that you can get across. That's the main thing. This bit I don't always get this right, but the main idea is that you've got to try and leave yourself a gap to skip across again. And there we go, we actually got it this time. Yeah, this is definitely a good run most of the way through. I think I captured about 19 spells overall in this, and that was even with stuff happening later, so yeah. Okay, so Lily White. I haven't explained Lily White yet. Lily White is basically the bringer of spring. She's trying to show everybody that spring is around, but the only way that she knows how to do that is to fire down Marku, apparently. So, you know, she's not exactly a very good shower of spring. I despise this. You know, I'm sorry if my commentary is a little bit discontinuous at the moment, but I absolutely despise this, and actually I probably did need to bomb that, but I can't do this bit. I just flat out can't do it. And I get clipped there. I had a bomb, but I didn't actually know I was gonna die, and before I could react, you know, I was dead. So I screw up this bit a little bit though, because I've tried to keep killing the fairies, but I didn't actually get them killed very well, so it ends up, you know, trying just about overwhelming me a bit, but it doesn't in the end. I actually get it right, and I get a border before I get to the top of the screen, so whatever. This bit is annoying. It's dead easy on easy and normal, but the hard lunatic version send the arrows out as well, and the arrows get in the way like you would not believe. They are so annoying. It's just trying to make sure you don't move too fast, because otherwise you're still going to get killed by those aim streams, but you've got to move in between the arrows. It's not easy at all. And I kind of panic bombed there. I actually expected to die, and I didn't. So, you know, I ended up death bombing when I didn't die. But oh well. This fairy's a bit of a bastard as well. Have a look at that. It's just... it's crazy. I don't know how I actually managed it as well, but... So I took a look at my life score at this point and was like, you know, yeah, 7 spare lives and 2 bombs. We're going pretty good at the moment. And here are the Prismriver Sisters. This is one of my favourite themes in all of Touhou. That's why I keep coming back to this stage, even though it kicks my ass half the time, because god is this theme ever good. I don't really understand this non-spell though. I sometimes get it, but the gaps are so narrow, I just can't do it. And again, get the border before I actually get up to the top of the screen, so yay, I guess. This is not actually that bad. You've just got to make sure that you don't move too fast, because if you move too fast, then the aimed attacks are just going to overwhelm you. But it's weaving in between the blue waves, and it's not that hard actually. Once you've practiced it, it will kill you the first few times that you play it probably, but once you've practiced it, it's fine. I really like this spell card. I don't actually like it on normal because it plays differently, but in this mode it's all big streaming stuff, and you know, it's really good. The only thing you've got to look out for is the red bullets that sometimes try and get in the way, but anyway, depending on which sister you damage the most is what sister actually attacks you here. You know, if I'd have damaged Lyrica, no, not Lyrica, Lyrica's the one I'm playing. If I damaged Lunasa more than, you know, I'd have played her. I don't know what happened there, that was just sad, to be honest. I am slightly irritated at that one, because that should not have happened, but... Okay, so Lyrica's spell card is easier on hard and lunatic than it is on normal. It's ridiculous. The idea is that you're supposed to, not lure the things, but you're supposed to follow the blue and red streams down and basically pick the channel which is going to not get you trapped. I had, when I was playing this with my friends at uni watching, I managed to do a really insane dodge in that bit, but I think I've lost a replay now, so I don't really have it. Anyway, this spell card is awesome, and I actually find it easier again on hard than I do on normal, but that's because of the difference in the way that the sisters do this. Their lasers refract the bullets, as you can see, and in in normal and easy, they're static. They don't rotate the lasers, but they rotate the lasers in this one, so, let's just not talk about the spell card that's active and talk about the previous one. Why the hell not? Yeah, the only thing that's massively hard about this one is the fact that the yellow bullets are rather hard to see. But, and the fact that they have an extra prong of lasers in that one. In normal, again, they don't have the extra lasers jutting out of the triangle. They just have a triangle there, but oh well. Next video! Eventually.